Curveballs, fastballs, knuckleballs, and two-seams. The world of baseball has seen it all. Today's list is on 9 of the nastiest pitches the major and minor leagues have ever seen. From players who started off young, to those who started off as hitters, and a few who lucked out before their time. This list has it all. So stick around to find out who's made the list. Starting with number 9, Nolan Ryan's fastball. How long does it take you to blink? In the blink of an eye is a pretty common phrase to establish that something was done so obnoxiously quickly that you didn't have enough time to comprehend it. So, how long does it take you to blink? The odds are no longer than a second. Batters playing against Nolan Ryan had a fraction of that time to determine their stance, their swing, and their next move. Ryan's fastball was notorious for being the fastest fastball ever recorded in MLB history. It was also, funnily enough, the first fastball to have ever had its speed recorded using a radar gun. Nolan clocked in at 108 miles per hour. For context, by the time a fastball traveling over 100 miles per hour reaches a batter, a fastball traveling 90 miles per hour would have only traveled 4.5 feet. The 2016 documentary Fastball was centered around who could throw the fastest pitch. Other contenders included Bob Feller and Aroldis Chapman, who clocked in at 98.6 miles per hour and 105 miles per hour respectively. Moving on to number 8, Clayton Kershaw's curveball. The C in Clayton might as well stand for curveball. The American professional baseball pitcher has played for the Dodgers for the entirety of his career. Kershaw was a 2006 draft pick, but in one short season, he made his way through the Dodgers farm system to reach the majors. The left-handed starting pitcher has played 14 seasons for the team since 2008, and he's dominated the pitch in every single one of them. Clayton is known for his 12-6 curveball that has earned him a reputation for being the best pitcher in recent history. Some argue Kershaw's the all-time best. His former teammate Zach Greinke used to think Kershaw's career stats were pure luck. To me, like, how do guys not hit that? Said Greinke before he was transferred to Arizona and had to bat against Kershaw. When I got to face him more consistently, you would see that a good pitch is a good pitch, he later claimed. Up next at number 7, R.A. Dickey's knuckleball. Could someone who's missing a crucial ligament in their throwing arm ever become a pitcher? They could, and they might just be remembered in history as one of the very best pitchers in Major League Baseball. The year is 1996, and the Texas Rangers are all set to offer R.A. Dickey a signing bonus of over $800,000. That is, until a physician noticed that their draft pick is missing an ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow joint. The Rangers lower their bonus to a little under $75,000. Dickey's earlier career as a starting pitcher was unremarkable at best, but at the beginning of 2006, he realized that his forkball was actually a hard knuckleball. From that point on, the Rangers pitcher dedicated his time to perfecting the knuckleball, something that had been popularized by Hall of Famer Phil Niekro. The knuckleball is a notoriously difficult pitch. You can increase its difficulty by 100 when someone's missing their UCL. Technically, it was a miracle that Dickey could even throw a ball, but here he was, out on the field posting a 20-6 record with a league-leading 230 strikeouts and winning the Cy Young Award at an age when most pitchers lose their velocity and are ready to call it quits. Coming up at number 6, Mariano Rivera's cutter. A 13-time All-Star and a 5-time World Series champion, Rivera played 19 seasons for the New York Yankees, and he served his time well. The former American baseball player began his career as a starting pitcher before permanently becoming a relief pitcher by the end of his rookie year. A man with many accolades, Rivera's crown jewel was his cutter. Now, a cut fastball might not sound like anything remarkable. It's definitely not as complicated as a knuckleball and not as fast as a 12-6, but Rivera's cut fastball wasn't like any other the league had ever seen. It held true to its name and would famously break any hitter's bat. The Panamanian American's pitch is regarded as one of the toughest pitches to hit in the league's history. Rivera is well regarded as one of the best relievers in history, with a record best of saving 25 games in 15 consecutive seasons. Moreover, at number 5, Randy Johnson's slider. You see a man bordering on 7 feet walk onto the pitch, look you dead in the eye, and take his stance. It sounds like something straight out of a death match, doesn't it? Known as the Big Unit, Randy Johnson was one of the Major League's most notorious pitchers. He was named the 2001 World Series Most Valuable Player alongside Curt Schilling. Johnson is remembered for perfecting his devastating fastball-slider combination. Basically, the low three-quarter swing was naturally destructive for lefties, but with Johnson's neat combination, it was perfected to destroy right-side hitters just as easily. The man was both visually and athletically indestructible. At number 4, we're talking about Sandy Koufax's curveball. Sandy Koufax's story might just be the most tragic story in the history of baseball. Imagine this: a fresh-faced 19-year-old who's never pitched in the minor league finds himself playing Major League Baseball one day. The first few years of his career are pretty unremarkable, with a career record of 36-40. But after making adjustments to his pitch and benefiting from the newly constructed Dodger Stadium, the left-handed pitcher manages to perfect his curveball and become one of the best pitchers the world of baseball has ever seen. From 1961 to 1966, Koufax was the best of the best. He was untouchable, highly accredited, and was well on his way to becoming the greatest player baseball had ever seen. Unfortunately, the a former baseball player was prematurely diagnosed with arthritis and had to retire at the age of 30. At the age of 36, Koufax became the youngest ever inductee into the Baseball Hall of Fame. The left-handed pitcher's curveball was said to be so remarkable that no player in recent history, not even Nolan Ryan, has ever come close to mimicking it. Let's talk about number 3, Trevor Hoffman's changeup. One of the best closers baseball has ever seen, and the first pitcher to ever reach a 500 milestone, actually started off as a batter. That's right, Trevor Hoffman, the man who brought us the gravity-defying changeup, wanted to be a hitter in his younger days. His dreams were fortunately squashed by a coach at his collegiate, the University of Arizona, who urged Hoffman to pursue a career as a pitcher instead. The rest is history. They say you can never be too early or too late for a changeup. The seemingly contradictory statement actually holds true when we're talking about Hoffman. Hitters would stand still with their eyes glued to the ball, waiting to hit a home run, or any at that, but Hoffman's changeup kept them from ever striking the ball at all. We're at number 2 with Greg Maddox's two-seamer. We just talked about the big unit earlier on, but when the 6'10" pitcher made his way to the field, you knew he meant business. But what if, instead of Johnson, an average-sized guy made his way to the field? Would you still feel threatened? If it was Greg Maddux, then you definitely need to catch your breath. Maddux is regarded as one of the few pitchers in the league's history to have won the Cy Young Award. He shares the achievement with Johnson. However, unlike Johnson, Maddux had a different approach to the field. You need to know that unlike any other pitcher on this list, Maddux didn't have a high-velocity arm. His record-breaking achievements as a control pitcher were all owing to his precision and skill. Maddox's two-seamer is regarded as one of the best and toughest pitches in the league's history. Closing in at number 1, we have Satchel Paige's hesitation pitch. Johnny Cueto does a good job at mimicking Satchel Paige's pitch, but nothing will ever compare to how the greatest pitcher of all time dominated the field. Satchel played for the Negro League Baseball for a record-breaking 5 decades. The man won awards for being the oldest pitcher to debut in the league's history, and consequently the oldest player to ever retire at 42 and 59 respectively. In addition to perfecting every pitch there ever was, Satchel was known for his theatrics that made the game all the more entertaining. He'd contort his body right before he'd pitch, in a way that was both amusing and confusing, hence the hesitation pitch. The pitcher was also known to sit his infielders behind him before he'd strike out a hitter. If that isn't confidence, we don't know what is. That's all for today's video. Who do you think is the best pitcher in the history of baseball? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos you wouldn't want to miss.